Well, here is our SCX10 Pro. It's all done. Our low center of gravity kit. Went with the 72 Chevy K10 body on it. Works pretty good. I kept it up a little bit higher than normal because I don't want it all the way slammed down like a lot of the low center of gravity bodies. So I put it up a little bit higher. If I trim the wheel wells out a little bit more, I could probably get it lower. So let's talk about a couple of fine points. These shocks in this kit are pretty cool. I'm relatively confident they're going to leak. I built them with green slime. I used 50 weight oil, but I'm already getting residue right here at the seal. They don't have an X-ring or anything like that. It's a basic seal, and there's a lot of slop right there in the shock. And so I'm pretty confident these are going to leak. I'll probably end up changing them out for some Dravtex once with some Vanquish wheels. I also did another thing on this. I went with Vanquish drive lines because I like metal drive lines. If you are going to use the Vanquish drive lines, just be prepared for the front. You're going to have to take off 1/8 of an inch from the housing side of the drive line right here. And on the back, you're going to have to take off about 1/4 inch of the splined side of the rear drive line in order for those to work. And then the incision drive shafts from Vanquish will work great. So it's cool because these new axle housings, the outer shaft housings are metal. The pumpkin is plastic, but everything else is metal. Another thing I did on this one, I went with stainless steel screws and bolts on everything. This is pretty cool. The servo and axle mount is behind the axle. I'm a little concerned about this getting bashed on the rocks, but I'm sure they'll come out with a guard for that relatively soon. I did go ahead and put the micro servo in so that my overdrive is selectable for my transmitter. You do not have to do that. Axial provided a pretty cool little bracket that goes right here to where you can actually lock in your overdrive by hand to where you don't have to use a transmitter. I went with the Fusion SE 1800 kV, the $10 more expensive one on the Fusion SE kit. My Futaba 7PRX is what's powering this bad boy. It was a fun build. The only thing in the transmission, like I've mentioned in other videos, there's 3 gears that have the square cut in the center of the gear that are similar in size. Make sure you pay attention to where you are installing those gears. I actually made a mistake and put the 18 tooth in first. The 18 tooth is actually the last square slotted gear that goes on the transmission during the build. The rest of the build, pretty cool. The way this shaft works, going from the transmission housing to the spur gear over to the motor. The clearances are super tight. I mean, you can see there's barely any room in between the spur gear and the front mount. There's no slipper. They got rid of that, which is cool. Overall, awesome build. It was a lot of fun. The shocks, they come with the 35 weight oil. I put 50 in them. They're still too soft. They're still just way too soft. So I'll probably end up bumping up to maybe even a 70 in the shocks. But like I say, I'm pretty confident they're going to leak. I'll probably end up going with a Dravtex at some point. But this is our SCX10 Pro. Pretty cool car. Really excited to get it onto the rocks and check it out. And yeah, there you go.